At first, Creature Feature feels like a tribute to the creature flicks of the 1950s, but underneath the retro charm is a haunting idea. What if nostalgia didn't comfort you? What if it changed you? This episode turns a film lover's safe space into something hungry, something alive, something that wants him more than the real world ever did. Greetings, schools, and welcome to a deep dive into horror television. Tonight we're exploring parts 1 and 2 of Creature Feature, one of the best episodes from The Haunting Hour. We open to John, played by Joel Courtney, preparing for a movie night with Nathan, his best friend. John's surprised when he finds that Nathan brought Lisa along with him. The plan is to watch the movie I Was a Teenage Tick, and John's really excited about it. Lisa thinks the movie sounds disgusting. Since she just got her driver's license in her dad's old truck, she wants to go to a beach party instead, and Nathan is down to go. They just have to convince John. Too bad John is dead set on watching movies all night. John loves nothing more than to escape reality by diving into old monster movies. After some convincing, he eventually agrees to go out. They hop in her truck and head to the beach, but along the way a thick fog engulfs them. They can barely see and almost drive through a red light. A moment later, out of the corner of his eye, John spots a drive-in movie theater. He hops out of the car to go check it out. Against their wishes, Nathan and Lisa head over to corral John back into the car. The movie playing at the theater tonight is the same movie they plan to watch at his house, which is really bizarre. John sees a snack bar and heads in to check it out. The inside is decorated with old monster movie posters, just like the ones John has in his room. Needless to say, John is so excited to be there, and I would be too. I get it. Lisa thinks the posters are corny and she wants to leave. Nathan apologizes to her and promises to get him back in the car. John disappears, so they look for him in the projector's booth. All the equipment is old school. Nothing is digital. John wants to watch the movie badly. Nathan promises they'll come back tomorrow to watch the movie. Strangely, the projector starts playing and John is nowhere to be found. He disappeared from the room, and the kids are baffled when John appears inside the movie. He's been sucked in somehow. Should they unplug the projector to get him out? Lisa finds out that it's already been unplugged, and it's still running without electricity. Luckily, John is a film buff and knows the whole plot of this movie he's in, so he interacts with the professor in the scene he's in. He tells the professor that he's a college student sent to his lab to assist him. Nathan and Lisa go to their truck and set up the speakers so they can hear the film. John meets Marjorie, the university professor's daughter. He thinks she's beautiful and they really hit it off. The professor is studying tick saliva for its potential to promote immune responses in humans. Nathan screams loud to try and get through to John, but he can't hear him no matter how much he yells. John tries to warn the professor about Dr. Mangle, his most trusted colleague who is criminally insane and created a serum that turns humans into giant ticks. The professor laughs it off and thinks John has watched too many movies. Nathan has a new idea. He tries calling John's cell phone, and he gets through to him. John thinks being inside the movie is totally cool, and tells him not to call back. Dr. Mangle arrives at the lab and asks to borrow Marjorie. She thinks that the doctor is brilliant and loyal and has no problem going with him. John promises to do everything he can to protect her. Lisa thinks that's sweet and hopes John and Marjorie get together. She's becoming invested in the story now, which is hilarious. So Dr. Mangle takes Marjorie down to his lab, where anything can happen. That's when a police officer interrupts the show. Nathan brings him into the projector room and the dopey cop gets sucked into the film too. A giant tick attacks the officer and starts to suck his blood. Dr. Mangle takes the cop's gun and zaps the tick to get back to the lab. John finds Marjorie strapped to a gurney and unties her. She finally realizes that Dr. Mangle is evil. Lisa gets the idea to cut the film reel to try to get John out safely. John and Marjorie are in deep trouble. The giant tick and the menacing doctor are back, and he straps both of them down. We learn that the big tick is the doctor's former student assistant, Barry. Dr. Mangle tells Marjorie not to think of Barry as a monster, but as the future father of her thousands of children. That's horrifying, no? So just as John's about to get injected with the tick serum, Lisa takes out her razor blade and cuts the film reel. That's the end of part 1. What do you think will happen in part 2? We open and John and the police officer are back in reality. The cop is in rough shape though. So Lisa, John, and Nathan get back in their truck and drive away as the ambulance picks up the officer. John wishes they had left him in the movie. He knows he'll never meet a girl like Marjorie in real life, John gets home first and feels a little funny. His arm is sore. Nathan calls him first thing in the morning and tells him to check the newspaper regarding the sheriff from last night. Says they found him in a vacant lot. The theater is like a ghost theater. John is starving but can't find anything that tastes decent. He abandons his phone call and heads outside where he finds a dog. He picks it up and smells it, and he's thinking about biting it. It's not a good sign for what's to come. John is sweating tremendously. He looks down at his finger and there's evidence that he's gradually turning into a tick. Worried about his bestie, Lisa and Nathan go to John's house to see why he isn't answering his phone. They go down to his room and John's hanging from the ceiling like a freak. He drools a puddle of slobber. John can't speak anymore, so they never wind up seeing him up there before they leave. John's getting closer and closer to becoming a full-blown tick. We watch in horror as John runs up on a kid at the playground. Her mother screams. We cut to Nathan and Lisa at a convenience store. The police have flyers looking for John in tick form. Nathan is horrified. He identifies it's John for sure since he's wearing the t-shirt Nathan bought for him. They have to find John before the cops shoot first and ask questions later. So Nathan and Lisa head back into the fog. They come prepared with a lighter to defend themselves. They arrive at the drive-in and everything looks about the same. They head into the projector booth and John follows behind them. Lisa gets the film reel running and all three of them enter the movie world. Marjorie is still tied down and she's shocked to see John in tick form. Nathan looks for the antidote that will turn John into a person again, but Dr. Mangle moved it. John is put in a cage. His friends are strapped down in gurneys and things look bleak for these kids. Before Barry can bite any of his friends, John busts out of the cage and the two ticks start fighting. Barry is kicking John's ass until Lisa pushes herself into Barry, knocking off a jar of acid and melting the giant tick down. Marjorie is in a lot of trouble until her hero saves the day. John lunges toward the doctor, gets shot with a gun, and then sucks the blood from the evil doctor. John is turned back into a human, and in this film, everything ends on a good note. John and Marjorie are together safely at last. The film ends, and only Nathan and Lisa are released into the movie world. A new movie starts playing. It's the sequel, Return of the Teenage Tick. Nathan and Lisa are worried, but John tells them that he's happy in there. He has Marjorie. He just has to turn her back into a human first. And that's it for this creepy tale. Sometimes fantasy feels more coherent, more forgiving, and more meaningful than the world we were born into. In John's everyday life, he's awkward, overshadowed, and unnoticed. In the movie world, he has purpose, connection, and even romance. The tension is not between good and evil, but between real and ideal. By refusing to return, John embodies the seductive pull of a world that seems designed for him, one where life finally makes emotional sense. For Nathan and Lisa, the story is about watching a friend drift somewhere they cannot follow. John isn't taken from them, he chooses to stay away. You can love someone deeply, but that doesn't guarantee they'll choose to remain in your world. It's a look at how friendships strain when people grow in different directions, or retreat into their private obsessions. Nathan and Lisa spend most of the episode trying to bring John back. The creature feature is blunt about the limits of intervention. You can help someone, fight for them, and cross boundaries for them, but you cannot ultimately decide their path. This episode understands the melancholy of growing apart. John's love of old monster movies isolates him socially but empowers him internally. The episode shows how devotion to a subculture can become a double-edged sword. It can create belonging where none exists. It can also drag someone away from relationships, responsibilities, and real-world growth. John's return to the film world at the end isn't a victory, it's a surrender. But it's also portrayed with a strange tenderness because for him, it's the first time he feels truly understood. German philosopher Theodor Adorno famously distrusted the idea of entertainment. To him, entertainment was always a pacifier, something that numbed, flickered, and soothed without ever challenging the deeper contradictions of society. Adorno believed the culture industry works like a well-oiled machine. It takes raw human experience, fear, desire, trauma, longing, and grinds it into predictable, consumable shapes. Everything dangerous is sanded down. Everything strange is domesticated. Everything unsettling is staged in a way that feels thrilling but ultimately safe. Children's horror is built entirely around this function. It teaches kids that all fear is manageable, that every monster follows a script, that terror behaves predictably, and that all the world's darkness can be turned off like a channel. It's a training ground for safe discomfort. The creature feature flips this upside down. By letting the horror escape its commercial packaging, the episode comments on the limits of sanitized fear. It hints that the world contains real anxieties about identity, transformation, alienation that can't be neatly resolved in 22 minutes. The monster becomes a metaphor for the fears society tries to sell back to children in softened form. Fear of change, loss, growing up, being misunderstood, and being consumed by your own imagination. Yet here, the safe horror breaks out of its boundaries, challenging the sanctity of pure entertainment. The production was excellently handled by some of my favorite artists. Peter DeLuise directed, and Billy Brown and Dan Angel adapted this story for television. The original story comes from Strange Matter by Johnny Ray Barnes and Marty Engel. All three teens who acted in this are still working as actors today. They were all great here, so no surprise there. I really enjoyed Matt Angel's performance as Dr. Mangle. He was so campy and fun in that role, he truly nailed it. Overall, I'll rate this one a 10 out of 10 for The Haunting Hour. I think it's masterfully done and a joy to experience. Tell me which episode of Haunting Hour you hope to see next. And until next time, remember to be well and stay spooky.